Hey everyone, Dave Brown here with the New Populist. If you are new to the channel, please like and subscribe. Well, there's this pattern I've seen from corporate America, one where it seems that all the CEOs have gotten together and come up with one marketing plan, one company line. They all sound the same. We saw this in Black Lives Matter in 2020 during the riots, where every corporation all of a sudden was pro Black Lives Matter, and they were saying the exact same thing now. There is an element of groupthink. In this case, I think they were trying to save their own skins by saying, hey, we support black people, that garbage. But it actually goes a little deeper than that. One thing I wasn't too familiar with until recently was these asset management companies. Now, by now, you may have heard of Blackrock. They've actually been talked about a little bit recently. But they are a asset management company, and they've been around since 1988, but they've kind of stayed under the radar until recently. And when you look at what they do, you realize they have an immense amount of power to dictate policy to a lot of smaller companies. Now, how does this happen? Well, like the banking system, which if you're not familiar, the fractional banking system allows the banks to loan out money they don't have and make money off of it. The investment firms take money from their investors and then use that money to buy up companies, buy up stocks in certain corporations, and get controlling shares. So these asset management companies take other people's assets under their control, and now they use those to buy up other companies and to make money. It's a great scheme if you can do it. Now, the biggest one in the world is Blackrock. They have $10 trillion under their management. And the top three in the US collectively have about $21 trillion in assets under their management, which is about 40% of the entire US market. Now, every year, these CEOs, they send out letters to all the CEOs of the companies that they are invested in. And they sort of give them guidelines and suggestions for what they think they should be focused on. So this last January, or just last month, the CEO of Blackrock, Larry Fink, sent out his annual letter, and it's on his website. You can go read it yourself. But what he says in it is, I write these letters as a fiduciary for our clients who entrust us to manage their assets to highlight the themes that I believe are vital to driving durable long-term returns and to helping them reach their goals. So what is it that he's telling these smaller companies? What instructions is he giving them? Well, it's summed up here by this website, Gibson Dunn. They're a law firm. And they say that the big three asset managers, their letters or pronouncements reflect a number of common themes, including an emphasis on climate and the transition to a net zero economy, diversity at the board level and throughout the workforce, and effective human capital management. So climate change, diversity. And all three of these asset management companies are sending out the same message to all the companies that they're invested into. And that is $21 trillion worth of assets. All that money they are investing gives them power to dictate downward what they want them to focus on. So think about that. Think about the incredible power these three CEOs have in dictating what all of these CEOs, hundreds of CEOs are now going to be saying. Do you see now the coordination here and why corporate America sounds like one giant voice? Because in essence, it is one giant voice. And this is really, I guess, troubling in the sense that you don't realize just how integrated the power structure is at the top. And this is the sort of the secret of corporate America and corporate law. You don't see the tentacles, how they spread out and intertwine everything together. And the more you dig into it, the more you see it. And the more kind of scary it is to think that over time, these companies will just get bigger and bigger and bigger and gobble up more and more of the economy in corporate America. And you have power in the hands of a handful of men. And that's always been the concern of, I won't say capitalism, but the concern of when you have these market systems and you have a government that pushes corporatism and protects these massive corporations from facing any sort of consequence for all the power grabs they do. So moving forward over the next 30, 40, 50 years, we're going to keep seeing this consolidation of power at the corporate level. And we've seen, just by watching our society today, what the capture that these corporations have on the government, on the politicians, and the news media. And it's so obvious with Google and Facebook. And these companies, again, are actually some of the smaller fish. And that is what you really have to remember. The companies that we focus on as being the problems, in the grand scheme, they're actually not as powerful as you think. There are bigger players, people that you don't even know, who have a lot more power than people that we think have the power. And that's scary. Well, that's it for now. Again, if you are new to this channel, please like and subscribe. I'll see you next time.